Tracking breaking news out of the NFL after just one season, Lovie Smith is out as head coach of the Texans following a season that saw Houston finish 3-13-1. Houston also lost out on the number 1 overall pick on Sunday after a win over the Colts and a Bears loss to the Vikings. Smith is the 4th head coach to lose his job this season. He leaves with 3 years remaining on his deal. Joining us now for immediate reaction, CBS senior NFL writer Pete Prisco. Pete, I guess the low-hanging fruit here is to ask the question, did the result on Sunday affect the decision here by Houston, or was this decision made prior to kick on Sunday?
No, I think this decision was made prior to kick. I mean, and that's why I think when you saw what Lovie Smith did at the end of that game, going for 2, giving the ball to Davis Mills, saying, go win it, I think that was there telling you that he knew at that time that he was not going to be back as the head coach. Look, this is a team that needs to find stability at the head coaching position. You can't keep firing these guys over and over and over again after such short stints, and I think this is another example of that. Until you solve the quarterback position, and they had it solved at one point, at least they thought they did with Deshaun Watson, but that whole situation got out of control, and now they have to find a quarterback again. Whoever the coach becomes, they have to solve that position, or they're going to keep doing this over and over and over again.
And you now find yourself shopping for not just a quarterback, but for a head coach. What kind of job is Houston at this current juncture when you're looking at it in the grand scheme of the openings that will be out there? There's already some static around what could happen in Denver. Carolina's an opening. There will be others, Pete. How does Houston stack up when you look at what may be in the coming days across the league?
Well, when you look at their draft capital, that's a nice situation. You have 2 first-round picks. One will be number 2, and that means you can get a quarterback. And that means you're going to get one of the top 2 quarterbacks. You might get the top quarterback, depending on what the Bears do with the first overall pick. So I think it makes it attractive from that standpoint. You have some good young players. Dameon Pierce, before he got hurt, was running the heck out of the football. The offensive line has some good young players on it. So I think there's a foundation there. It's just a matter of where's the stability. I mean, you have a general manager, Nick Caserio, who's going to be involved in this search. Can he work with the coach he hires? And what about, the previous regimes, then how they've been, fallen out of favor and been fired? They did get rid of some people in the front office earlier this year, which was a smart move. But again, this is a good job because of the draft capital. When you trade Deshaun Watson, that means you have a young team, that means you're not in cap hell, and that means you can build this thing around a young quarterback. So I think from that standpoint, it is attractive.
Well, as you take a look at what might be in Houston, obviously, new quarterback likely on the way. You want to align that with an offensive mind. I don't know if you're ready to go there yet, Pete, but are there some names that make sense that you could maybe attach to such a situation?
Well, I would, investigate Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton's, when he's playing, is arguably the best play caller in the National Football League. And if you could get a guy like that with a young quarterback, I think that would make a lot of sense. And he could come in and get the quarterback he desires, whether it's C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young or Will Levis or whoever he wants. And I think that could make it attractive for Sean Payton. You're going to have to give up draft pick compensation, and that might cost you your second first-round pick. But you have to ask yourself the question, is it time to get a head coach that can bring stability to the franchise and you can get rid of that first-round pick? And I think maybe in that case, I would give strong consideration to Sean Payton, who I think is, when he's calling plays, as good as any in the NFL.
He will likely be in high demand with multiple openings coming there this offseason. We'll continue to come to Pete Prisco for all the latest. Thank you, Pete.
You got it.
All right, taking a look at the Texans this season, sort of the bullet points and what led to Lovie Smith being let go here. 3-13-1. The 31st ranked team when it comes to the win-loss column, the only column that matters. Points per game, just 70th, also bottom of the barrel. Yards per game, can't even scratch their heads on 300 total. It was a woeful season, and it doesn't even end with the top overall pick, Lovie's last act, winning a game that gave his old team, the Chicago Bears, the first pick.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.